Want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Hey.
Why this beat so crazy?
We will make America proud again. And you try to kill our we will make America wealthy again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
Boy, oh boy, Elon Musk just exposed the biggest scam in American history. And where is the mainstream media, the left-wing media, legacy media? They are ignoring this. They refuse to cover it. Where are the so-called journalists? Where's the CNNs, the MSNBCs, the ABCs? The CBSs, where are they? Why hasn't anybody been arrested? This is what's happening. This is what took place, you guys. Make sure you spread the word. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here. God bless them beautiful patriots around the world. I hope everybody is blessed, well, healthy, and that nothing but the best is going on in all you beautiful people's life. One love to the human race. And we want to thank Elon Musk and the Doge team, man. And the Trump administration. And I'm still waiting on handcuffs too. But let's jump into this, man. Elon Musk exposes the biggest scam in American history. Live on stage.
It'll be okay. I mean, Buzz Aldrin's still alive, and he went past the belts.
Work. Is this working? Yeah, it's on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, there you go. So, Antonio, can you tell us what you... Antonio is helping out with the Social Security. So just trying to review Social Security, where you may have heard that we found 20 million dead people marked as alive in the Social Security database. This is so crazy. And then you'll notice there's a strange trend here where how many Social Security numbers were issued. Do you want to?
Yeah. So let me tell you what happened here. We started at the top of the system.
You want to talk about a lot of maybe?
We started at the top of the system, mapping the whole system of Social Security to understand where all the fraud was. And there's a lot of great people there that showed us really a lot of waste. And so that came up with a big list of stuff that we're working on. You've heard some of that already. But this is what jumped out at us. When we saw these numbers, we're like, what is this? In 21, you see 270,000 people, goes all the way to 2.1 million in 24. These are non-citizens that are getting Social Security numbers.
Yeah, this is a mind-blowing chart.
Yeah, just this literally blew us away. Like, we went there to find fraud, and we found this by accident. And this isn't political, by the way. My parents are immigrants. Yeah, this country's been great to us. My brother and sister are all born in Spain. I'm pro-legal immigration. This is not political. This is not political. This is about America and the future of America. And there are a lot of good people in the system that pointed us in this direction. I want to honor them right now, that work in the government today, who took risks to show us these numbers and tell us what's going on. Yeah, I want to stop them, and I want to honor those people today. Very good people. Very good people. I have been from DC to Social Security offices to the border to track this down, and very good people have helped us along the way. I want to thank them.
Yeah.
This number, what this is when you come in the country, if you're illegal, there's a couple ways to come in. You come in through a port of entry, and you can tell them you're afraid, and they'll give you an asylum case. You'll get an interview, then you get in. That's one way to do it. Another way to do it is to just go to the border. Literally, this happened. I talked to Border Patrol myself. Elon was there too. I went to Laredo, and I went to Bronzeville. Elon went to Eagle Pass. You walk up to a Border Patrol officer, and you tell them you want to come in. They have a couple of choices. They could charge you with a misdemeanor or a felony under 1325, or they can make it an administrative offense, like a parking ticket, basically. They were told to do that, make it an administrative offense under the last administration. And then you go walk across the border. They do what's called a release your own recognizance, and they give you an NTA, a notice to appear, which to appear at a judge. The wait times on judges are like average 6 years. Look at Grok, you'll see it on immigration judges. There's only 700 of them. This is 5.5 million people. Okay? So what happens then? Once you're in the country and you got asylum through one of these pathways, and we mapped the whole thing out, you can apply for a work document. You file a 765, it's the work form. You get this form called the 766, that's the authorization, and then Social Security Administration automatically sends you in the mail your Social Security number. No interview, no ID.
This is worth just reiterating. It's not people sometimes think that under the Biden administration that he was simply asleep at the switch. He wasn't asleep. They were asleep at the switch. It was a massive, large-scale program to import as many illegals as possible, ultimately to change the entire voting map of the United States and disenfranchise the American people and make it a permanent, deep blue, one-party state from which there would be no escape.
Look, if I hadn't seen this myself, I'm not sure I'd have believed it. I went through it myself and mapped it, and Elon is right. This is true. The defaults in the system from Social Security to all of the benefit programs have been set to max inclusion, max pay for these people, and minimum collection. That's what's happening. We found 1.3 million of them already on Medicaid, as an example. We've gone through, on every benefit program we went through, we found groups from this particular group of people, this 5.5 million people, in those benefit programs. And then what was really, really disturbing us was why. We're asking ourselves why. And so we actually just took a sample and looked at voter registration records. And we found people here registered to vote in this population, yes.
And who did vote?
And we found some by sampling that actually did vote. And we have referred them to prosecution at the Homeland Security Investigation Service.
Yeah.
Already. That's already happening. Right now. Yeah. And the truly disturbing thing, though, I just want you to know this, a truly disturbing thing to me, and the darkest thing about this to me, the voter fraud is terrible, but the human tragedy this created is extraordinary, because what you don't understand, and people don't know, and Americans need to know, that's why I'm here, is that human traffickers made $13 to $15 billion off of this, okay? That's the money that's going around the world, moving people around the world to our borders because of these incentives. How does it work? What happens? Hey, if you're in Africa and you're in Central America, you got to walk up through Mexico, through Central America. Who do you pay? You pay the narcos, you pay the traffickers, right? And we were told by ICE, it's between $20,000 and $500, depends where they pick you up, to walk across all those countries and get all the way up to the border. Where's that money goes? It goes to the cartels. It goes to human traffickers, right? There are 30,000 children that have not appeared on the notice to appear already. ICE knows this. 30,000 children, 270,000 children didn't even get notices to appear. ICE told us that kids are being trafficked back and forth across the border to complete families to make this easier. This is a human tragedy. It's not just the money, it's the people and the kids. And how many of these people died on the way up here that didn't make it in? What happened to them? We created a system here that created a incentive for people to come and be taken advantage of by these traffickers. And how do you think they get paid? Well, you're in Africa, Central America, you got $20,000 or $10,000 or $5,000 to pay these traffickers? No, you don't. What happens? You come in, then you owe them the money. You're an indentured servant. If you don't pay them, what happens? What do? They kill your mother, they kill your brother, they kill your family. What happens next? That's what we discovered. And I have to tell you, it's tragic to me. The tragedy, the human tragedy this created is extraordinary. That's the real problem. This is America. We don't do this here in America.
Yeah.
We don't do this here in America. People come here legally, and that's great. Elon came here legally. My parents came here legally. That's the way to do it. This is outrageous.
Yeah. It's pretty wild. I mean, you can see, because there's still actually a lot of people out there, especially in the sort of center third of the country, that somehow think this is made up by the right, or it's like some fiction. It's not, that it's somehow not true, but it is absolutely true. And you can see that if you look at things like the state of New York, which tried to make it legal for illegal immigrants to vote in the state of New York. That was only shot down by the New York Supreme Court a few weeks ago. And California has made it health care available to all illegals in the state. And they initially claimed that it would only cost $3 billion. It's now $9 billion and climbing. So it's really, if you create a massive financial incentive for people to come to the United States illegally, then that's what they will do. It's a very sort of, it'd be strange, it'd be odd if that didn't happen. So the thing that actually has the Democrats losing their mind by far, the real reason for these attacks and sort of the burning of the cars and everything is that we're going to turn off the payments to illegals. Because, yeah, I mean, because that's not the deal. You know, it's simply not right. You know, if you look at that thing with the Roosevelt Hotel and, like, you know, the luxury hotels in New York, where the Federal Emergency Management Agency funds were being used to house illegals in luxury hotels in New York that the average American can't afford. And they were giving a welcome package and $10,000 debit cards and everything else. Like, it's super real. I mean, it's like, I think it's the biggest voter fraud thing in history by far. And moreover, if left unchecked, it would have succeeded. As Antonio mentioned, the time frame for going from asylum to citizen is roughly 5 years. Yep. And so all of the people that came in on that chart that you saw, if the machine behind the Kamala puppet had won, then, you know, they change out the puppet, but it's the same machine. Then they would have actually legalized all those people, and there would be no swing states.
And they added more. Remember, it was doubling every year.
Yes.
It went from 1 million to 2 million.
It was going ballistic.
Going ballistic. And it is just, these people are just entering the benefit programs now, by the way.
Right.
We're seeing the ramp happen too. And these are just the ones that are in the system. This doesn't count the other, 7.5, 8 million that ICE thinks are out there.
Yeah.
We don't know if they have numbers. The number is totally uncontrolled. The voter ID requirement in this state is super important because of this.
Yes.
Because the Social Security number, it's not supposed to be a federal ID number, but it basically is. That's how you access all the benefits. This is why we need voter ID, because this thing is not secure. You could walk into a Social Security office today as an adult in America, and get a Social Security number enumerated with simply answering 6 or 7 simple questions and showing some forms of ID that are not federal ID.
Well, you could just actually make it up. Basically, you can show basically like a fake utility bill, or
show a medical bill and a school ID.
Yeah, medical bill and a school ID, and you can get a Social Security number.
Yes.
And then from there you get on the voter rolls, and then
Yes.
basically Dem operatives will form the vote.
Yes.
The problem with this obviously is that if you turn the swing states blue, then there are no swing states, and then we're in a permanent one-party system. And as soon as they win that, they'll have the House, the Senate, the presidency, they'll pack the Supreme Court, then they'll double down on the illegals, just like California. So we've already seen this happen in California. California is supermajority Dem. So, but at least California is held back by the fact that people can move out of state. Once you can no longer leave America, they'll be far worse than California. So the gravity of the situation is severe.
Help us clean up Wisconsin border wall.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. So, I mean, it's really simple stuff. Just having photo ID to vote is like, you can't buy something at the liquor store, but voting is more important than buying a beer. So
You're going to need a real ID to get on an airplane.
you can't fly anywhere. Yeah, and the same people who are saying that there should be no voter ID at voting stations demanded vaccine ID from everyone.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's weird, So it's really about just restoring integrity to the voting system, which really should not be a right or left cause, but a cause for all. Do we not all want integrity in the voting system? Of course we do.
Yes, of course. Yes.
So,
Wow. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. What do y'all think of that right there, man? And again, we send our prayers out. Elon Musk, the Doge train, Trump, the Trump administration. Prayers, man. Prayers. You know. Told you, right now it's just good versus evil. That's all we've been seeing lately. And that's all it's been. Good versus evil, man. And what has been discovered, man. People ought to be hotter than fish grease. There needs to be handcuffs, arrest everywhere. You know, but as you see, the mainstream media, left-wing media, legacy media, they choose to ignore this. They don't want to cover this. They don't want to talk about it. But they do want to talk about that this man, the orange man, is bad. That they're cutting things for people. They're going to deport American citizens. And they're going to, you know, it's just ridiculous. The fear mongering, the propaganda, the lies, the bias. Good versus evil, man. And I just want to read some of these comments out before we get out of here and end the video. But it says, legacy media ignores all of this. This sounds just like the things we all be saying. We say the same things on the same song sheet. I'm saying, why hasn't anyone been arrested for allowing this to happen? This needs to be put on the national news. Illegals getting max benefits from Social Security. People work 30 years and don't get that. As a foreigner looking, in my mind boggles with American citizens actually protesting against Musk for doing this work. It's unbelievable how stupid the average American really is. Wow. They said that, yeah. And tons of Americans, thousands of Americans agree with that comment. It's actually unbelievable how stupid the average American really is. Someone says, my neighbor died at 63 years old. Oh boy. She had COPD so bad she couldn't walk 10 feet without having to catch his breath. He died. He was denied Social Security disability for two times after contributing 35 years to the system. Now we know that they're giving it to people that never contribute a dime. The people behind this should be going to jail. Yeah. This should have national coverage. It's shameful people call themselves journalists and ignore this. This will never be shown on the CNN, MSNBC, or New York Times. And I said that earlier. I'm gonna keep saying it, man. This is why Mayorkas needs to be tried in a court of law. Wow, we are on the brink. We are now on uphill tragedy of warp speed. Thank you, patriots, for your service. This is treason. This is what exactly happened in England. Yeah. And again, y'all, everybody is singing the same song on the same song sheet. Canadian here, same thing happened in UK, Germany, now in Canada. Thank gentlemen for shining the light. Good to hear workers helped point out this. Yeah. The legacy media is ignoring all of this. Yeah. But there it is, you guys. Let me know what y'all think. An amazing video. You know, and we're going to keep shining the light on the corruption, man. We're going to keep doing it. I love you guys, and I will catch y'all on the next one, man. Peace and love, family.